Fallout Season 2 is scheduled to come out in December, and we now have our first look at the new season, and I am so excited. So let's get into it. So as you may or may not remember, I actually think I'm gonna have to do a rewatch or like some kind of recap beforehand to remind me of everything exactly that happened in Season 1, because there was so much info and so many characters and just so many places that the story went. The season ended with a bunch of our favorite characters at a crossroads, with Lucy discovering her dad's betrayal, especially regarding how he had treated her mother, and deciding to leave with the ghoul for New Vegas. We've got her poor brother. Honestly, that guy was really going through it. Every time you saw him on screen, you just knew everything was going to get worse and worse. He's still stuck down in the vault with everything. We found out about this whole order of keeping people in power that's been going on since before the vaults were even actually active. Maximus is thought of as a hero for killing the big bad guy, but really he did it so Lucy would be able to get away and kind of make that sacrifice. And after having them team up for the whole season, they're separate in her going with the ghoul and him going back to the Brotherhood. And then lastly, we've got an inkling of where it's to come, but we also have everything going on in the past leading up to how we got to where we are now and how the ghoul became the ghoul. Again, it's kind of writing on the wall now that he decided to quote-unquote betray, even though I think he's doing the right thing, spy on his wife and find out that they are kind of thinking that they've put so much money into these vaults that it's almost better for them if there is war and if the vaults are needed, rather than actually trying to broker peace and avoid the war altogether. So there's a lot of moving pieces going on. The biggest thing is Lucy and the ghoul heading off to New Vegas because we got a new location, and I'm really excited. And after the kind of, I think, setting and scenery they created with Season 1 and how faithful that was to the feel and the theme of the games, I'm really excited to see what they do in a city like New Vegas. And like I said, New Vegas is definitely going to be the focus of this season. It is where Lucy and the ghoul are heading to, and I'm sure a bunch of other characters are going to end up there as well. And that importance is shown by the poster that was released, which I absolutely love. The first poster for Fallout was really fun. It had a lot of like bright colors and everything like that, and a lot going on with all the characters. I like that they kind of toned it down a little bit, and I like that we've got our 4, if you count the dog, which of course you count the dog, characters. We've got New Vegas in the background. I just think it's a really stunning kind of silhouette showing them coming towards us, actually. So you kind of get that vibe of this whole journey and everything, and I'm really excited to see what this city has in store for them. Season 2 is set to take place 15 years after the game Fallout New Vegas took place, so the showrunner said don't expect it to appear exactly like it does in the game, but as we saw in Season 1, I think the feel of it in general will still be there, and then it gives them room to add in stuff and kind of put their own spin on it, which is going to be really fun. I think what I'm most excited for is to see this kind of Lucy ghoul team up, and to see these kind of enemy of my enemy, reluctant, you know, she's kind of hated him for a majority of Season 1 and seen him as representing like just everything bad and like hunting her and stuff like that. So now for the truth to be revealed with everything with her dad and teaming up with him, I think that's going to be a really fun dynamic to explore, because obviously he kind of looks down on her like happy-go-lucky okay attitude, whereas I feel like she is kind of getting more hardened. But I also feel like I really like that like ability of hers to look for the best in a lot of situations, and I hope she doesn't lose that like hopefulness in a way, right? Of like lending a hand to someone in need. Maybe don't expect them to like not bite your hand off first, like be a little bit more cautious, but I don't want her to turn into like the villain who like just goes after innocence or everything. So I hope she can maintain her humanity and also help bring back the ghoul's humanity a little bit. And with that, it brings us to our first image. It is Lucy and the ghoul presumably on their way to New Vegas, and they are definitely in a face-off. Like I said, I don't think this is going to be a smooth sailing relationship by any means from the get-go. I think it's more out of necessity for both of them right now. And again, I think there's a lot in Lucy that the ghoul probably sees pre all this going on in himself, of someone who, you know, kind of has a better attitude about seeing things and also doesn't exactly see the world for what it is. Like, there is a certain naivete there that I just think he could find very annoying, and I feel like she is gonna obviously still maybe kind of be scared of him. He did cut her finger, so I think that's fully fair, and I think there's a lot of questions that she has that she's going to expect him to know the answers to, and we've kind of seen that he doesn't really know all the answers yet himself, as much as he won't admit that. So I think this is going to be a central part of this season, and I think seeing them become closer allies and stuff, if they do, will be a really fun thing, because I think they could be really good, strong allies for each other, and I hope that they get to that point. Then we've got Maximus in the Brotherhood. Again, he is full back. He's redeemed himself in their eyes, and they think he is a hero, which he is a hero, but you know what I mean, like they think that he's, you know, tracked down this person, hunted them himself, so he's fully ingratiated in the enemy's side, if you will, to protect Lucy. I hope he gets to New Vegas. I would assume so. It kind of seems dumb to keep characters separated like that for so long, especially when they were together so much in season 1 and kind of leaning toward a romance with that. So I'm excited to see his whole journey. He was a really, really fun character and unexpected in season 1, going from this kind of like guy who just wanted to prove himself and, you know, get out there, and then all of it went wrong so quickly and he had to readjust and really build himself back up and help Lucy while he's doing that. And I think it was just really, really fun to see his journey, and I'm excited to see where he goes in this one, and if he gets, you know, even more moments to shine and also reunite with Lucy is what I'd really like. Then we've got Cooper Howard. It looks like he himself is going to Las Vegas back in the past, and his wife is in the car with him, so I don't know if she's discovered the deception yet, but he definitely looks like he's thinking, he's plotting. He doesn't look as comfortable as he once did. I think the reveal of finding out that, yeah, his wife's company not only has kind of wanted this war, I mean, it's horrible, but it makes sense of like they get more money if there is a war, and not only did they do that, but they ensured that they would still be empowered by making sure that the people in charge of the vaults were all from them. I think that reveal of seeing Lucy's dad back in the past and seeing that like this whole thing has been connected the whole time was so, so astounding. That also makes it a little tragic, because we know whatever Cooper is trying to do to prevent this, and the people he's working with that are trying to prevent this, it doesn't work, or at least it doesn't seem like it has worked. So that's going to be hard to watch, but yeah, his journey will definitely be an interesting, dramatic one. Then, of course, we've got Lucy's dad, the man, the villain that we all kind of knew was coming, but didn't necessarily know to what degree. He is, you know, I don't even know what there is to say about him, because just the reveal of everything he had done to Lucy's mom was a wild one, and after everything, you know, that's what's really rocking Lucy's world, is she saw her dad as this moral, high, upstanding man who always knows what to do and does the right thing. He sacrificed himself by letting himself get kidnapped so that they wouldn't attack any more people in his vault, and that's what she thought, and that's the whole reason why she went after him. Come to find out that he is this kind of person who has made a whole bunch of sacrifices, especially if he's from the time that Cooper's from, and was fully on board with this plan of allowing everyone to live in the vaults while they like destroyed Earth. He's not the man she thought she was, and that definitely rocks her to her core, and I think that's going to be her character building thing this season. Next, we've got Lucy. I love her. It doesn't really say anything. I'm assuming she's maybe with the ghoul right there, but yeah, she still just looks like ready to go, and like I said, I'm excited to see her character exploration in this and see like where she goes from here, because her whole season 1 journey was getting there to find her dad and rescue him, and then in doing so she found out that everything she thought she believed was a lie, not only with her dad but also before that, of like what the outside and above world looks like. So I just think it's going to be very interesting to see. Like I said, I want her to maintain the heart of the character and still be like a positive person who lends a hand and wants to believe that things are good, but I know she's going to be more jaded, and I'm also knowing that she's probably going to be more cautious, and that makes sense, but again, still maintain that kind of like goodness in her that is instilled, she thinks, from her father, but I think that's a choice that she makes, and she's made that choice again and again, and I hope we continue to see that. Then we've got Cooper and his wife at some fancy schmancy party. I'm sure he's going to be like the perfect time to eavesdrop and all that. It also looks like they could maybe be in conflict. I don't really know. I feel like it's going to be so, so bad when she finds out his betrayal, because I feel like it's been shown time and time again that her loyalties are to her company in a way, but also in her mind she thinks this is what's best for her family, and she wants to keep them safe and making sure that they get a good vault and everything like that by doing this. So I feel like, yes, it's a terrible idea, but in her mind she's warped it so it is like the best solution to everything, and she thinks she's doing it for her family. We know that something happens though where he ends up becoming the ghoul, so somehow he's separated from the family, his daughter. I don't know, there's been theories about like he was purposely put in a bad vault of like where they were doing like experimentations or something like that. I've seen people throw that around. So it'll just be interesting to see like what comes up with that, and if his betrayal is revealed, if he tries to confront her more this season and realizes just how deep she is in this and just how deep gone she is. And then last, we've got our boy. Again, terrible, no good, bad day. Every time this guy was on screen, his life was just getting worse and worse, and I am so worried for him in this season. There wasn't a lot of character death with main characters in the first season, but I do feel like if anyone is in the most precarious situation right now, it is for sure him, as someone who could potentially be back around the dad if the dad does go back to the vault, if that makes sense. But also his closest ally is now off and married to that woman who is like fully invested and knows everything that's going on. I think they're pretty much starting to catch on to him that he knows a lot more than he should, and I just don't know how well he'll be able to hide what he does know and hide his horror at all this. I hope also he and Lucy somehow kind of reunite, even if it's just like through communications or something like that, because I feel like they've both learned so much that if they put it together, it can make a bigger picture. Obviously, that seems a little bit hard, but I would like to say that by the end of this season, I would like to see him out of the vault, and then season 3 could kind of be his journey in discovering himself, much like Lucy's was in season 1, or she could also go back to the vault, or they could find connections through the vault, since we know a couple of them are connected, and he ends up in New Vegas with her and everything. I just really want to see the siblings reunite, because I feel like they've lost family in a way, especially Lucy finding out this betrayal, and I also feel like he deserves to know about everything that happened with the mom, and I just really hope we can see a reunion with that. So yeah, lots of theories, lots of hopes, lots of dreams and wants that I have with this season. I'm so excited that it's coming out this year and that we don't have to wait like 2 years, and I'm really excited to see what they pull off. It was such a fun, funny, action-packed season, and I'm really excited to see where they're going to take it in New Vegas. So yeah, if you have seen the images, let me know what you thought about them down below in the comments, and your theories and wants for this season, and what you would like to see the characters and the setting and the development of everything story-wise. Thank you guys all so much for watching this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!